us now on the program is a poet and a special lecturer of Arabic in the Department of Modern Languages and Literatures at Oakland University. Dunya Mikhail joins us now on the Michigan Megacast. Dunya, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
I appreciate having you on the program. So first, if you can give us a little bit of info on your background, what led you to Oakland University, and what ultimately inspired you to become a poet and an author and go into this line of work?
Oh, so, wow. This is, you want me to say, I talk about what led me to Oakland, what led me to poet. These are, especially the second one, very long story, but let me make it short. Well, to Oakland is, I moved from place to place, as an immigrant, worked in various places, starting with like a store, a regular store, to a Borders bookstore before it was closed, to schools like Warren Consolidated, Dearborn Public Schools. I quit went to MSU. MSU was very far from my home. I live in Sterling Heights, so it was really the Oakland, close to my home and the closest to the heart, actually. So that's why I stayed at Oakland. Poet, that's a long story. It's I think I started writing poetry before I was born, so you can imagine how long that was. And yeah, I mean, I don't recall any time that I was not, in a way or another, related to art in general and poetry specifically.
And not only have you been a poet, you've also been a journalist, right? You were also previously working as a journalist.
Yes, I worked as a journalist for the Baghdad Observer before I left my country. I left in 1995, took me a year in the roads in Jordan until I arrived here in America in 96. As a writer and journalist, it was very important for me, my part, being a writer. I wanted to be a free writer, not dictated, not influenced by censorship and things like that. So, so I gradually, I immigrated. I was lucky to be here, to gradually become a citizen of the world, actually.
We're joined by Dunya Mikhail. She is a poet and special lecturer of Arabic in the Department of Modern Languages and Literature at Oakland University, joining us on the Michigan Megacast. You can learn more about Dunya and all of her workings by visiting her website, dunyamikhail.com. That's dunyamikhail.com for more information. And, of course, on Oakland University programs and classes, oakland.edu is the website for Oakland University, oakland.edu. And then, so of course, as we mentioned, you are a lecturer at Oakland University, where you are lecturing in Arabic in the Department of Modern Languages. How does your experience having immigrated to the United States from an Arabic-speaking country, how does that influence? How does your lived experiences influence the way that you're teaching this language, both the history and the mechanics of the Arabic language, to students at the university level?
To be honest, when I was like a student, let's say in high school or in even when I was in college at the University of Baghdad studying English literature, the last profession I would consider was teaching. I thought anything but teaching. But gradually, changes happen, and I loved it, actually, when I did. I love my students. I love this energy in the class. They inspire me. They make me feel younger, and I know that they are the makers of our future. So usually is a positive relationship, and I learn from my students. We exchange this inspiration of the language, of culture part, and a life part is the culture. So when you consider culture as part of the skills, it makes it more interesting to everybody.
Dunya, you were recently awarded the 18th UNESCO-Sharjah Prize for Arabic Culture, along with a Swedish actress of Syrian and Iraqi origin, Helena Al-Janabi. And so Can you tell us about how you were alerted that you were going to be receiving this award from UNESCO that has only been received by 17 others previously before you?
I remember I received a telephone call. There was no name in it, and so I thought it was spam. So I left it, but then it was several times. The same number was, it was calling. So I guess this must be important. So it was a very sweet surprise, of course. I'm very grateful. That it's an important part of this international organization. UNESCO is the promotion of diversity of cultures, of intercultural dialogue. And I consider this work very important, especially these times. I mean, actually, unfortunately, every time. The reason I'm saying unfortunately, I mean time of violence. We've been still witnessing in the world so much violence everywhere. Here in America, that children are killed in their seats in the schools. In the Middle East, continuous wars. In Europe now, in Ukraine, it's crisis and war. And so, as a writer, I what can I do in face of this? I have my tool is pen. I face pain with pen. And someone would maybe think that words, all of us may think words may seem useless, in front of such catastrophes. But especially during these difficult times, it is wisdom what we need the most.
And so, especially in the context of wars overseas in the Middle East, certainly more recently wars in Eastern Europe, particularly between Russia and Ukraine, how important is it more than ever, especially in the modern era, from the turn of the century to present, for somebody with your life experiences and with your expertise and with your ability to use the written word to share information and to share stories of Arabic culture from across the world in America, especially with young people who are going to be those that are having great influence in so many industries for years to come?
I opened my eyes to the war. It was the Iraq-Iran war, then it was called all different names. First Gulf War, Fox, so first time was called Storm, Desert Storm.
Desert Storm.
One time Fox, something with Fox. Another time with I don't know, the second Liberation. I mean, every time the war had a name, a title, but for me it was the same. It doesn't matter what you call it. It's for me it's that same experience that I know very well. And now when I see these watching TV in the screens from afar in parts of the world, Ukraine and other places, it's like flashback. Looks like flashback to me. We did experience all these what people are suffering from, witnessing. But the loss of each other, the being in the roads and to going to the unknown, all kinds of things. The mess, all this mess. I mean, what can I tell you? It's really. I believe there's never a winner in any war. In any war, in any war. No, always everyone would lose. In one of my texts long time ago, I said something like that the killed would lose their life and the killer would lose their humanity.
We're joined by Dunya Mikhail. She is joining us on the Megacast. She is a poet and a special lecturer in Arabic in the Department of Modern Languages and Literatures at Oakland University. You can also read all of her works and find more information on her extensive career by visiting dunyamikhail.com. That's dunyamikhail.com for more information, and also on her classes and other classes in the Department of Modern Languages and Literature at Oakland University by visiting oakland.edu for more information. And in the context of what you just said, Dunya, discussing, seeing these conflicts occur overseas, seeing the war, seeing the death and destruction, the ways that that brings you back to your experiences earlier on in your life. You also had mentioned earlier on, you had said the pen is your tool. It's a form of healing for you. It's also a form of connection. Writing connects people of all different cultures. It connects people of all different life experiences. It's how we learn about our shared human experiences and see our world through different lenses. How important, especially today, with everything going on in the world, with all the division both in the U.S. and in different sectors of the world in different capacities, is it to have that written word be shared among people of different cultures, of different areas, of even the same nation, even the same place like the state of Michigan? How much more important now is that than it's ever been before?
It is essential. And you said healing. Well, to me, I mentioned it in some other interview that it is not exactly healing. It's not medicine. For me, art is not medicine, but it is like an X-ray through which we can see the wound and understand it. So this diagnosing of the wound is the very first important step that we need towards that healing that you kindly talking about. I mean, yeah, you beautifully talking how you put it. I loved how you put art in the context of connection and healing, but it's like that for me, more diagnosing of the wound. And it's like an X-ray, really, of life.
We're joined by Dunya Mikhail. She is a poet and a lecturer in the Department of Modern Languages and Literature, a special lecturer of Arabic in that department at Oakland University, joining us on the Michigan Megacast. Dunya, just another couple minutes with you before we'll have to say goodbye today. Any lasting words of advice for writers, for poets especially, who would like to be sharing their experience, their life experiences, especially their cultural experiences with other people and in their current community and other communities around the world, especially in a world today where everybody is so connected on so many different levels?
I would say, and I would say to especially to my students and all students, that they should pursue really. It's not like what necessarily what you think is practical, but what is really. I would borrow some words from Rumi. Rumi is a Sufi poet. He says, respond to whatever excites your spirit or your soul.
Dunya, we appreciate your time, appreciate your insight and wisdom, and thank you for joining us on today's edition of the Megacast. Congratulations on receiving your award as well.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.